Hi, good people. Here again, just with a quick review of Chapter 3 and the concept of socialization. When we are introduced in Chapter 3 of the idea of socialization, we are presented with two theorists, one being John Watson and the other one being Charles Darwin. This idea from Charles Darwin, or the theory, I should say, from Charles Darwin, being that socialization can be created or is a natural process. And the theory from John Watson, speaking on behalf of socialization, being a learned process that is by nurture. So we have to ask ourselves, nature versus nurture. How do we learn to socialize? Is it possible that it could be a perfect storm of both, nature and nurture? Also in Chapter 3, we are introduced to several theorists and their theories related to personality development. One of the first theorists that we're introduced to is Sigmund Freud. Now, if you've had Gen Psych, you may remember Sigmund Freud and his theories as it's based on psychoanalysis. Well, within sociology, we look at Sigmund Freud's theories and specifically focusing on personality development. Sigmund Freud talks about personality development based on the id, the ego, and the superego. Another theorist that we are introduced to in Chapter 3 would be Mead, And Mead says that personality development, it begins or it runs through a 6-stage process. That first stage being that at birth, we are not really sure of who we are. There is no self-awareness present. But then by the time we reach the 6th stage in Mead's theory, he states that self-awareness is present and it is usually based on the roles or the behavior that we may have noticed or experienced in our interactions with others. Some of the other theorists that are mentioned in Chapter 3 would include Erik Erikson, his 8 stages of development. Jean Piaget, he has 4 stages of development. Carol Gilligan and Lawrence Kohlberg. Both of those theorists base their development on moral issues. Some of the other things that are addressed in Chapter 3 would include our 4 agents of socialization. Now, I want you to be mindful of these agents of socialization as we continue throughout the semester. Those 4 agents of socialization would be the family, peer groups, mass media, and schools. How do those separate but sometimes together agents of socialization, how do they impact the way that we view ourselves in society and how we interact with others in society? Finally, the last thing that Chapter 3 addresses would be socialization across the lifespan. What are some of the differences or changes that we notice coming from infancy through old age? As you read through Chapter 3 and you get to this final section of socialization throughout the lifespan, I want you to reflect back on Erik Erikson's 8 stages of development and see where you lie in the stages of development, along with some of the information that's addressed on the lifespan and how we socialize. All right, good people, that's just a brief recap of Chapter 3. Please feel free to contact me by email with any questions, comments, or concerns. You all have a good day, and we'll talk with you again soon.